Get those hands up and press. Oh, yeah. How about that? Let's take a quick look around. Get them up. Eat tacos on a boat. Get those hands up and press it. Remarkable day today. Not all good news though. I made it down to my normal spot on the Hudson, one of my normal spots, on 24th, because I needed to get some sleep. Was tired. 4 o'clock in the morning, the skies just opened up. And I had not done a good job of checking the weather forecast, and then boom, rain came down, and I was just right out there, right in the open, and I didn't have time to react. I just jumped up, and I mean, it was buckets, and I got soaked, but somehow I made it to shelter. So, you know, you don't get sleep, you feel terrible. So anyway, I needed to go down to my spot on 24th, so I can sleep anywhere if I'm tired. So got some good rest down there. On the way down there though, flat tire, which, you know, puts a damper on the plans, because, you know, I've got wanted to go that way to get a hot lunch, but ended up, you know, everything's God providence. Ended up reading the Apostolic Fathers. Foundational for so many things. And one of the things we're going to be studying tonight in a Wednesday night class for Redeemer, starting at 7 o'clock, is the concept of the Trinity. That's the topic tonight. And so my study of the Fathers, Clement, 2 letters, first and second Clement, Irenaeus, Polycarp, those types, absolutely critical, because everybody, right when the church was getting started off, wanted to be Unitarian. They didn't want to believe in the deity of Christ. So you had Arianism, the Gnostics. And so, you know, the apostles were gone. Jesus had ascended. Apostles had died off. Now, first Clement is a contemporary of John, while John was on Patmos. So, to give you kind of a time frame of when these guys were taking over authority, responsibility, leadership, and the main problem they were having to face, and then of course Athanasius further on down the road, but it was this whole idea of, what are we going to do with Jesus? Is he God? So whereas the apostles John, Paul, Peter, all unhesitatingly, and even, you know, obviously Jesus himself, unhesitatingly claiming deity, and but the universal or the current contemporary view from all the sects, all the major religions. It's still the same thing. They say Jesus was not God, and so it's just a rehash of everything. But I've come to a clearer knowledge that, for so many reasons I can't go into, but the Apostolic Fathers that I just mentioned, absolutely critical to know that they are so important, because they had to fight against the notion and defend the deity of Christ against all the current nonsense or nonsense of their time. But it's also current nonsense, because people don't need a reason to disagree with anything. They will just say, well, nothing was decided for sure about the deity of Christ until the Nicene Council in 325. And people saying that don't have a clue of any history. Not a scintilla of evidence, of argument. But it's just human nature to be argumentative. And I don't even like to use the word argumentative, because in order to be argumentative, you have to have an argument. Oh, hands up and pray, Lou. But yeah, so lovely day in that sense. Got caught up on sleep. I was looking on Amtrak to see if, and I almost got a good deal, but I hesitated and it vanished. But I wanted to go to Northampton, where both David Brainerd, the magnificent missionary, untold effects on everything, where Jonathan Edwards preached. Brainerd is buried right next to Jonathan Edwards' daughter, Jerusha. And there was talk of those two not being able to consummate their marriage, because Brainerd died of tuberculosis, and Jerusha took care of him for the last 4 months of his life, and she contracted the tuberculosis, and then she died 4 months later. But Edwards' comment on his daughter's death was that it was an incredible blessing that Brainerd spent the last 4 years of his life under Jonathan Edwards' roof. Now, if I have to explain to you how ridiculously providential, and to have those two monsters of church history under the same roof in 1740, I can't remember exactly the date of Brainerd's death, but as I'm digging back further and further into everything, it just becomes more and more fascinating to see, where we did Orthodoxy for a little while, and then we did Roman Catholicism for a long while, and then got back to Orthodoxy again in the Reformation, and just Reformation, and then we hit the Enlightenment, 1700s. So yeah, I didn't know I was this interested in history, but yeah, church history I'm interested in. So get them up, April! Oh, wow. Anyway, gonna take off here in a minute. Gonna go to church, study, and gonna talk about the Trinity. Get them up.